What's going on, everyone? Septic here, and welcome to my Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes video. This is going to be an interesting one, as you can see, this is going to be a very long video, and it's just going to be me talking about what I want to see in the game. I'm also going to be joined by my best friend here, Cade, and we're just going to discuss what we want to see, our thoughts on the trailer, and many more. This is going to be similar to our podcast, so all you gotta do is just listen to us speak. You don't have to really watch the screen. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy. So, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Cade, how are you, bro?
I am great, man. Anytime you get more Three Houses Fodlan content, you're feeling good.
I love the game. I love Three Houses, so I'm definitely extremely excited for this game. But
I mean, you know, it's controversial because everybody wanted. I mean, it's not controversial, but everybody wanted some more fan favorites in the last one, and then here we are getting what I'd assume is just all Three Houses.
yeah, this is just all Three Houses, at least from what they're showing off here, just kind of similar to Age of Calamity in that aspect, which honestly I'm fine with. If they can just focus on a pretty cool story, they can definitely do that. Like Age of Calamity, I really enjoyed what they did there. I don't know if you care about spoilers.
No, I don't care.
You don't care
We're
about
long
spoilers?
past that.
Gotcha. But I will say, for spoiler warning for those that still haven't played Age of Calamity, it followed the story completely, like, you know, where it showed what happened before the champion's demise, and of course when Link gets sealed. However, that ends up changing at some point due to the fact that the future champions travel back in time to help out and all that stuff, and it creates this unique story and all that stuff where what if these guys helped out and none of the champions' deaths happen? Which honestly,
So basically, a golden route.
essentially, essentially a more of a happy ending instead of a depressing ending, really. So
And
yeah,
there were
like,
a few of those in Three Houses.
so yeah, like, I guess we can talk about the gameplay because I know like you're a big Fire Emblem fan, Cade, but like I know you didn't really gravitate towards Warriors. So like,
Yeah, I never got around to playing Warriors. I started it, and then just something about the hack and slash style didn't really pull me in like regular Fire Emblem does.
I feel it. I mean, it's like Warriors games aren't for everyone. I feel like there are a lot of people who just kind of struggle to get themselves into a Warriors game because it can be very repetitive and can be very boring depending on the person if they're just constantly doing the same thing. And some maps can even go to like 30 minutes. So it can definitely get very tedious for certain people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the previous one was a fan service game, you know, focusing on just Shadow Dragon, Awakening, and Fates. While you mentioned here, this is all focused on just Fodlan, Three Houses, so it's more cohesive. It's gonna focus on just one story, and you know, going into story, what do we think this game's gonna tell us, bro? Like, what do you think it's gonna explain?
I have honestly no idea, and that excites me. But you see a couple key things from the trailer. You see stuff like Dimitri and Claude having their relic, and Byleth and Edelgard don't. That tells me the turning point's probably going to be somewhere before the route split.
Exactly. Yeah, I could see it. I agree as well.
Something like those who slither get the sword of the creator.
That would actually be interesting if they do actually end up getting the Sword of the Creator, because it's kind of interesting as well, like you mentioned, because we don't actually see Byleth with the Sword of the Creator, especially what seems to be at that point she should have it. But we see her using like some kind of weird looking sword. I don't know. I can't say it's a silver sword because that does not look like a silver sword.
No, definitely not.
Like
It was a unique sword for sure.
Yeah, like, so she's using this like weird sword. It's not the Sword of the Creator, so I'm very curious to see what happened. And Edelgard is using a unique axe, which is like completely not in the games at all. Like, I think you can actually see on the axe itself the crest of Saros for her to use and everything.
I didn't catch that one.
You didn't? Like, it was like actually shown off. Like, you can kind of see it's like it's in the top portion, but I don't think it's a relic weapon. It's just like a regular, just like, what are these other weapons called? Like the axe of Ukan Vasara.
Yeah, like the ones Flane and Seth use as well.
Yeah, I forgot what they were called.
The name escapes me.
Yeah, but you get it though, right?
Yeah.
That is to me what it looks like Edelgard is using.
And I would assume Byleth has something similar.
I guess you could say, like, we can't really see much of her sword. Like, it's just, like, default.
I mean, you see it get cut in half.
That is true. We do see it get broken by whatever the new character is using. That looks like a relic weapon.
That does look like a relic weapon. That's not the sword of the creator.
But what's interesting about the new character, yeah, we gotta talk about that new character. This weird, not Yuri-looking character. It's what's interesting about him is that he looks like he's dual wielding, right? We see him dual wielding, but one of the swords just looks like a normal sword or whatever it's supposed to be. Because again, it's a new sword, while the other one actually looks like a relic weapon.
Yeah.
Which I am very curious to know. Who do you think this new guy is supposed to be? Like, do you have any theories on that for now?
Part of me was thinking maybe he's filling the gap for our last crest user. But I looked it up after the showcase, and it was Macuel. And I just don't understand how someone with connection to Saint Macuel would, or with the crest of Macuel, would have anything to do with those who slither.
Oh wait, so you're saying it's the Macuel crest?
Yeah, the last one that's not used, aside from obviously the Saint Macuel boss fight, but...
Really? Okay, that is good. That is smart to actually, like, notice, because I actually did not notice at all. I actually didn't go back and look.
I don't know if he has it. I just know that's the one that's not represented in Three Houses as of current.
Yeah, because there's only one person that has it, and I'm pretty sure most people watching this have played Three Houses, so, you know, I'll say it, but, you know, just in case, I guess a spoiler for a prologue, paralogue. Macuel is, we do see Macuel himself. But he's in his dragon form and all that stuff, and that's the only time you ever see the crest in use.
Yes. So it'd be interesting to see if there's a connection there, and then we'd finally have all the crest slots filled up for the game.
Exactly, and honestly, I'm actually really, really interested in that one. That's actually a good theory to mention. I would like to see that happen. But the guy is like, you know, this guy's weird, you know? From what we see and what they're hinting at, this guy seems to be a similar case to Byleth. How Byleth has Sothis with him, and he seems, what they're implying is that he has this unknown god in him. Like, I'm not too sure, like the white-haired person, I believe.
From the cover of the game.
Yeah, and the cover of the game, like this white-haired person, we don't know who they are. And I want to know, who do you think they are actually, Cade? Because I currently, like, can't really think much. With the only thought I can kind of go into is that maybe this is like the evil god variant of Sothis that's more for like
evil Sothis.
Yeah, evil Sothis, essentially. The one that, you know, those who sit in the dark believe in or something. But what do you think?
I'm just as stumped as you at this point, because you assume they're going to be one and the same. And you can also probably assume that he lived around the same time as Sothis, and he's living within the antagonist of this game. He or she, I'm not sure, but I'm sure that connection's probably going to be something that's a big plot twist in the game, or some sort of revelation. And I mean, you wonder if it's got any connection to Nemesis or the 10 Elites. You would assume, because I would assume this guy's going to be involved with those who slither in the dark.
Definitely, I can definitely see what you mean. Or they do something crazy where he actually is not involved with it, but he just wants to kill Byleth or something, you know, which would actually be very interesting.
That would be really just a completely separate faction entirely.
But I doubt that's going to be the case. I'm pretty sure this person's working for them. And also, especially since he has his own relic weapon. I mean, we never seen this relic weapon at all, nor is it mentioned in the game at all. Like, and when I mean by mention, I'm talking about like the DLC, how we started getting more lore stuff. Like, for example, for those that don't know, in the Bane game, it's stated that, you know, Lug ended up, you know, making the Kingdom of Fargus and all that stuff, and everyone got, you know, everyone's like, yeah, you know, this is the history of how it happened. But when you get the DLC, in the library, you can read up on Lug, and you find out that he kind of did the same thing that Edelgard did in order to make the Kingdom of Fargus, where, you know, he ended up siding with those who slither in the dark in order to create it, you know?
Yeah. To get power.
Exactly.
So that could lead into that theory of there being a fourth faction, him basically wanting to split off into his own nation. So he could be a part of Adrestia.
Yeah.
And that could be why Edelgard's siding with us, because he's won them over to his side.
That would actually be interesting now that I think about it. But I really want to know more about this game. Also, let me see. Like, I noticed this person has.
But
like
you also have to note his hair isn't white, so he's only got one crest.
He only has one. True. But what's interesting about the god is, like, at least with Sothis, when Sothis and Byleth merged, their hair, Byleth's hair became, you know, this like green that kind of matched Rhea or in Sothis and all that stuff, right? Well, here is kind of like a different story, because this character seems to have like white hair, and the guy has like purple.
Bright neon purple looking hair.
Mm-hmm. Which honestly,
there's no characters in the game that have that, unless he fuses with Lorenz.
Oh, okay, that would actually be funny. No, Lawrence Hellman Gloucester is the new god of But that would actually be funny. But I think the interesting one that some people said, because I'm pretty sure it's very obvious to note when they showed the box art, there is no male Byleth on this box art.
That's crazy. You'd assume if anything, he'll be in his DLC or an option to switch.
Yeah, that's definitely what I'm thinking.
He's not there at all.
Because this is the same thing that happened with Warriors. How like Warriors had female Korn in the box art, and you know there were definitely people like, is male Korn gonna be there? You know, for people like male Korn, and the same applies to male Robin. How he was confirmed, but people are like, is female Robin gonna be in the game? And the only way you can actually see those two is if you unlock them after beating the game, if I recall. So
wow.
Mm-hmm. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how you get them. And not only that, even if you equip their skins, it doesn't change the story cutscenes. It will, however, change the supports at least. So if you switch to male Korn, it's male Korn talking in the supports, which is honestly pretty cool that they at least did that. It's kind of a shame that there is no male Korn, at least what they're implying here, maybe, unless he's hidden, because honestly, I really like Zach Aguilar's Byleth, so I would definitely like to see him again. But, you know,
I do too. And I'm a bigger fan of male Byleth's design as a whole.
Yeah, same here. I like male Byleth more, but I also enjoy female Byleth as well. I think she's also really damn cool. But, you know, hey, it is what it is, right? I just hope we get to hear them talk this time.
True.
Like,
another interesting thing of note is you see that these characters, they go through like a mid time skip type thing with their design.
A mid time skip, yes. Like Edelgard, Dimitri, and Claude have these designs that it's not exactly them being adults yet, right? But it's something that they're, you know, they would wear when they're older and all that stuff.
Like a year or two in the future, not 5 years.
Yeah.
But you also notice Byleth once again doesn't change at all.
Yeah, Byleth
which is interesting because they're technically around the same age.
Mm-hmm.
A couple years older.
Yeah, I think it's a couple. If I recall, they're like 17 to 18ish, like the main three lords, and then Byleth is like 21. If I recall.
So I mean, it made sense in the main game not to have a change since they were disappeared for 5 years from existence. I don't know. We don't talk about it.
Yeah, we don't talk about it. They just disappeared.
But I mean, not seeing a time skip makes me wonder if something similar will happen to Byleth that causes another mini time skip again.
That would actually be very interesting. And you know, while we were talking about Byleth, I was kind of reminded there's only like 2 shots of Byleth in this whole trailer, so we don't know if this happens like before she falls and all that stuff into the cliff. But there's only 2 shots. The first shot was at the beginning where you see her with the normal blue hair, and then the next time you see her is when she's with the green hair fighting the purple haired dude.
Yeah, that is interesting, and they both have that glow in that combat.
Oh yeah, where I think
like they ascended.
Yeah, like Byleth is glowing green, and the guy's glowing purple, was it, or white? I forgot. But I did see him glow.
Yeah.
Which would be definitely very interesting. And also, you mentioned how, like, you know, the main characters are in this like mid time skip like outfit swap, but we do see in the game as well. We will see them in their uniforms, like in combat and everything. So we will at least see them in their Garrick mock outfits and all that stuff.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
But now the interesting thing is that besides them, they only showed those 3 playable. But who else do you think will be playable? But before we get into that, like, there are 2 characters that we have seen. That being, of course, Hubert, which is, look, I'm really, I like Hubert's design.
My Chemical Hubert.
my Chemical Hubert, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I do like edgy looking Hubert, bro.
Oh, I love it. It melds perfectly between his original design and his time skip design, I think.
Yeah, for real. I really like it. And at one point in the trailer, when I think Claude and Dimitri were fighting, I think Dimitri was about to, like, stab Claude. At one part of the trailer, like, you can see his attack gets blocked, like, you see it. Like, I didn't pay attention at first, because I was just like, it's an axe. My mind immediately went to Amir for some odd reason, even though we saw Edelgard using this new weapon. But when I looked at it again, it turned out to be Freikugel, and, you know, you see a little, like, bit of Hilda blocking the attack. Yes.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I even send you the pictures so you can see it.
I think you can assume that the retainers will definitely be in the game, so Hubert, Hilda, and Dedue.
Yo, you know what? On second thought, now I gotta complain. There was no Dedue in the trailer. Hold up, bro.
No Dedue.
Where's my man? Where's the boy, the goat? But I'll send you Hilda if you didn't see it. But
oh yeah, there she is.
Yeah, and
she got that mid time skip design as well.
Exactly. Like, that's what I think we're gonna see a lot with these characters. This mid time design. And since we do have, like, armored units, like, playable, like how Edelgard's running around with a shield, there's no doubt about it that we're probably going to see Dedue kind of run similar to that.
Oh, yeah.
Or, you know, they could say, screw it, and have him punch. Like, punching Dedue. Let's get it.
Hey, they have the opportunity to add fists.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be awesome.
Exactly, but we'll see what happens, though, with that. I mean, if anything, if I see anyone with fists, it'd probably be Raphael if he is playable, which would honestly be pretty cool to see. Or if they want, they can also go unique with Caspar, so they don't have to have, like, a lot of axe users, if that's the case.
I mean, in terms of characters, do you think every student's going to be in this game?
Every student? I really can't say. Like, it's possible because...
That's 30-something odd students.
Mm-hmm. And then they'd have to probably try to make each one unique, or they make everyone clones like they did in Fire Emblem Warriors. But it's like, it's definitely gonna be hard because, you know, trying to incorporate every single student will be ridiculous. But especially since some of them will probably not even get involved. Like, as much as I would love to see Marianne playable, we know what happens. Like, after, you know, the events of the game, she literally just, like, disappears, right? If you're in Golden Deer, she reappears again, you know, like, excited to see you again. Yeah. And in the other routes, she only will be there if you, you know, get her to, like, not get her to be support, but, like, you end up recruiting her to your class and all that stuff.
Get her to your side.
Yeah, because on the other side, and the other routes, like, it isn't implied until you see her A support where, you know, she takes her own life in all those other routes because, you know, of her being called a monster, so... a part of me is kind of, like, wary, like, will Marianne return? I personally think she will, given how she is an extremely popular character. People love Marianne. I mean, she won also as well Choose Your Legends, so...
She won Choose Your Legends.
Exactly, so it makes sense to see Marianne here. You know, like for example, Lysithea is also going to be here, let's be real here. Like...
Oh, Dark Spikes.
Dark Spikes, she's a popular character overall, like, people love her, so I definitely see her here. But... you know, I something I want to bring up to my attention. Something I want to bring up to your attention again, because I did mention how, like, they're using their student designs, right? And then at a certain point in the game, I also want to mention that not only are they using their student designs, but they're also using the relic weapons already. So at some point, they somehow get these weapons, because yeah, so
or the time skip.
Yeah, because we know that they don't have these weapons until after the time skip, like you mentioned, all that stuff. So they already have the relic.
Even later on.
Mm-hmm. Bro, speaking of Dimitri, bro, that shot in the trailer where, like, Dimitri and Claude were, like, back to back with each other, right?
So awesome.
Yeah, no, and it looks like they were fighting Edelgard's, like, army. And, like, the only time we see Claude intervene against the battle between Edelgard and Dimitri is in that one shot of the trailer where he kind of, like, shoots his arrow, like, telling them, kind of like, yo, stop.
Between the two of them.
It's a Groudon and Kyogre situation. Claude is Rayquaza, and he's like, bro, shut up. But yeah, no, like, I'm very curious to see what exactly this is, because, you know, story-wise, there's the possibility that this is a Revelations Golden route, right? But I kind of wanted to think about it in a different light, right? Like, what if this is something that only takes place in between, like, the main story, and it still ties in to Three Houses. You know, there's nothing new about it. There's no golden route. It just ends in something interesting, where they only team up for a bit, and then they said next time we meet we're enemies, or something along those lines. You know what I mean?
That would be pretty cool. So it's canon to the main story.
Essentially, like it's just a little thing to kind of like explain extra lore, because in my opinion there is some stuff that I do want answered. Like I want to know more about those of Still in the Dark, right? Like they barely got any kind of like screen time, and when they did, it was minimal, and we didn't really learn much about them. Like characters like Krania, Dallas, I forgot Tomas's name again. What was it? Tomas's
Megamind.
Megamind. Yeah, I know the original, but I forgot the name of Tomas's big brain mode. I forgot. It's been a while, but you know who I'm talking about, though.
Yep.
Yeah, and I also forgot her name. The what's it called? The witch. I called her the witch of Fargus.
Witch of Fargus.
Cornelia. I think that's
Cornelia.
her name.
Yep.
Like I definitely want to know more about her, because
they all got kind of screwed in the Three Houses story.
Yeah, like we know she's a Garthan, right? But it's like I want to see more about her. You know, we rarely know anything except that like she used to be like this helpful person, and all of a sudden she's bad. You know, like so they kind of don't really explain that much of Cornelia. So I definitely want to know more about her. But it seems like we might get that, because if we look at the Three Hopes trailer again, right? There's like a red-haired girl there that kind of looks like Monica. I don't know if you caught that. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure you remember that, right? It was like,
yeah, I got the red-haired girl. Huh.
Yeah. So like,
yeah, I kind of assumed that was a different character, but
yeah, like
it
there
could be Monica as well.
Obviously it's Anna with short hair, right?
Clearly.
But yeah, no, the thing with her is that we don't know. We can't say that definitively, yep, that's Monica. Like, it's possible. Like, same hair, you know, red eyes. Her hair's a little bit different, right? And not only that, from what people have noticed, she has earrings that are kind of like something that Edelgard has or something. So, I mean, and we do know that apparently Monica, well, at least, you know, in the main game, they were like talking and friends. But that also makes sense given how, you know, they kind of have to, you know, they were working together and all that stuff. So
yeah,
we'll just have to wait and see exactly what's going on with this game, because like that's really it for like kind of predictions I can make in terms of how the story goes. Like golden route, or is this like something that takes place in between, and that we start learning
do you
more
think
lore?
There's going to be a siding mechanic as well for it.
Like wait,
there's going to be factions you can side with.
Oh,
Dimitri, Claude.
That would actually
because
be very
you
interesting.
see Edelgard fighting Judith in one of the shots in the trailer as well.
Yeah, that was the most obvious. Like when I saw Judith being fought, the thing that went to my brain was not that she was fighting Judith. It was the fact that why isn't she playable in Three Houses? But that's besides the point. Yeah,
but
no,
it makes you think Claude probably wouldn't want to fight Judith in any way.
Yeah, definitely not. And we do see Dimitri beating up Kaspar's uncle. I forgot his name, but you know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, so we do see that part. And I'm actually curious. I'm getting the map of the game again, right? Like, there's the one part where you do see Edelgard saying something, where, like, you do see the map of Folden. And I think this is going to be similar to Age of Calamity. This is what I'm thinking. If you haven't played Age of Calamity, essentially, the main story is, like, after you complete a chapter, it takes you to, like, the world map of Breath of the Wild. And it opens up with, like, here's the main quest, and then here's some side quest stuff. Oh, here's some unlocks for character upgrades, all that kind of stuff. You need certain materials for this, that. So, a part of me kind of thinks that that's probably what the map's going to be. Where, like, this is where the next main chapter goes, some extra stuff that you can unlock for characters, all that kind of stuff. You know, like, your typical warrior stuff.
Yeah, I think it's safe to assume there's no sort of Garreg Mach in this game as well.
Oh yeah, most likely, definitely not.
If anything, it'll be more like the small hub world you get when you side with Edelgard.
That would actually be pretty cool. You know, that little area. Yeah, that was at least a little unique thing if you sided with her, which I did like from Three Houses. But you know, I'm looking at the map again. That's pretty much what I'm predicting right now. Because I will say, like, Hyrule Warriors and Fire Emblem Warriors, the originals. Like, they had the main story, but they're all, like, chapters. So, you know, you have chapter 1, 2, 3. And if you wanted the character unlocks, you had to spend time going to the regular maps and unlocking those. And the thing is that a lot of them would be stuck behind progression walls and all that stuff, if I recall. And the thing is that barely anyone would touch those because, you know, your mind is like, oh, I'm on the main story stuff. I'm not gonna need this. I'm just gonna go right through, you know, from beginning to end, right?
Yeah.
So you don't touch that, and you know the map just becomes this long, tedious thing, and it can definitely get annoying. I will say that it did feel annoying. I found it easier in Fire Emblem Warriors than Hyrule Warriors, but I do love the way Age of Calamity did it, where it's just one map. You beat the next chapter. You unlock stuff, right? You do those stuff. Next, you do the next chapter, which is the only thing you can do at the moment. You do it. You get extra more stuff, you know, so on and so forth, because it gives you incentive. You see it there on the map. You're like, I could probably do this here, you know, instead of actually navigating through menus and just going, okay, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I think the map is. But I do like what you were thinking of, where you can actually like side with someone, which would actually
like an original Dynasty Warrior game where you got the dynasties.
Yeah, like depending on who you side with, who you help out. Me personally, like as much as I think that would be cool, I think people, like from what I've seen, they don't want another split branch. Like people thought it was cool, but a lot of people also do like just one story.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And a lot of people probably won't be willing to replay this game 4 times again.
Yeah, definitely not, you know?
8 playthroughs in the same universe.
Mm-hmm. But now I do want to mention something. We do see Geralt in the trailer, right? So I want to know.
Yeah, we do.
Do you think we're actually going to successfully stop something? Do you think like Byleth is actually going to save Geralt?
I hope so, man.
You hope so? I would
That'd
love
be
to see
so
too.
Awesome. But we do see her time skip, which does come after her green hair.
Mm-hmm.
Not her time skip, which does come after that event. But if he isn't, or if he does happen to die, will we get to play as him before his death?
That would actually be
That's
very
my
interesting.
big question as well.
I think Geralt will be fun to play as well, given how he's a horseback unit. You know what I mean? And from what we see so far, we don't have horseback units right now. It's just it's just on foot, just running.
That also makes me wonder if there's going to be a dynamic class system like there was in Three Houses, or if it's just going to be more in terms of like the DLC, where they're kind of locked to a specific class route.
I think it's probably going to be that, because like I think it would definitely be interesting if they went for the unique routes and all that stuff, but I feel like that'd definitely be a little bit too much for these guys, so I think it's probably going to be locked behind like, this character is this character is this. And then
I can't imagine this game getting too deep with its mechanics.
Yeah, I
as
can't.
Three Houses was.
It's probably going to be, they're probably going to, take notes from just the Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, and what they learned from Warriors and all that stuff. That's probably what they're going to end up doing.
Yep.
But
give us a little fan service and a golden route.
Mm-hmm. But one thing I want to mention is that you do see that Sothis mentions something, and I'm pretty sure she's talking to Byleth, talking about revenge and the path you take or something. And then she says something along the lines of, it's been a while so I can't remember too much. She says something like, I hope you know what you're doing or some shit like that, right? Something along those lines.
Yeah.
Which would definitely be very interesting to see what happens. Because, like, what if this involves, like, a Byleth that kind of goes berserk or some shit like that? Which would be freaking hilarious. And depressing. But, I mean, I don't know what to say about that. Like, what do you think? Do you think Byleth is going to do something reckless?
I don't know about that. She might make a dumb decision that causes this war, but I have no idea.
Because the thing is, you notice they did not show Byleth playable at all throughout this trailer. We only saw her in cutscenes.
Yeah, true.
They did not show her playable at all. And there's even a crazier theory that I saw some people saying that, what if there is some time shenanigans, right? And that purple hair, like, and it's like, oh, male Byleth's not on the cover, and it's like, wrong. He is on the cover. What if that dude is Byleth right there? Male Byleth.
That would be crazy.
Like, a version where, like, Byleth fell to this, like, a male Byleth from another reality fell to this god, which would honestly be pretty crazy to think about.
That would start hurting my head.
And we do see that Saros does go into fight. You know, Rhea, like, turns into the dragon. We just see that one split where, like, it shoots out a beam from her mouth and all that stuff, so...
Yep.
So we'll see Rhea fight, like, which would definitely be interesting if they're doing the golden path.
Yep, if it's a boss fight, which I'd assume it is. I'd assume you're not playing as Rhea, but...
Yeah, you're probably... Like, I'm pretty sure Rhea will not be... I'm not gonna say she can't be playable. It'll be interesting, so long as she's not in her like using her magic or sword. I think it'd be pretty cool. For Manikeets, right? Like where you play as her in her dragon form, just as a little thing, which would honestly be pretty cool. Tiki's playable in Fire Emblem Warriors. They can do it with Rhea.
Oh, they can. Yeah, they could definitely pull it off.
I mean, to be fair, also Rhea is supposed to be bigger than than Tiki, right? But regardless of the case, that is something I did see some people on Twitter mention, because I think people are breaking down how like the armor looks pretty similar to like male Byleth or something like that. Like it's like, oh, this looks like something he might use and all that stuff.
It almost looks like he's got the assassin class armor.
That is true. Looking at it, it does look like the assassin's class armor. He is dual wielding as well, so that is something I would see like an assassin use.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for honestly, I'm really excited for this dual wielding character. What is a relic weapon / other sword that we don't really know much of. But like, there's one more thing I do want to mention of Fire Emblem Warriors, and it's more like we kind of sit down and predict who will be playable. But do you have anything else you want to say about Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes?
I just thought of this. Another case for the whole golden route is the name, the 3 Hopes.
That is true. It does say 3 Hopes.
You can see them having to come together, and they're the 3 Hopes to save the continent almost.
Because I'm real with you, I see this new god, whatever they're supposed to be, a bigger threat than whatever those who slid into the dark is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
that's kind of what I'm feeling too.
Because like, I'm real, like if Sothis, for example, was to go berserk, I think she'd be the bigger threat here, you know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
So I personally like see that at some point they're probably gonna take down those who slither in the dark if they do show up, but this new god is probably gonna be the major bad guy for this game and all stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's my last point probably. Just golden route.
That's fine. No, I don't blame you, but. So let's like real quick before we like end it. I think it's time we talk about character predictions, because I'm pretty sure, like you mentioned, Hubert, Dedue, and Hilda will be playable, right? And we do see Hilda, so I'm pretty sure she's gonna be playable with her Frey Kugel. Hubert, I'm very curious. Probably just gonna have like dark magic in his combos and all that stuff, right? Because he doesn't really have a relic weapon. And that's like the only 2 that were shown off playable. We see Judith, and I forgot the other guy's name. But I don't know if they'll be playable. But when it comes to the 3 houses characters, who we thinking are playable? Let's start off with the Black Eagles houses. So we got Ferdinand, we got Caspar, Linhardt, Bernadetta, Dorothea, and Petra, right?
Yeah.
And before,
I
think before we talk about this, I think there is one character from Black Eagles that I should mention that would probably be playable real quick. It's probably Bernadetta, given how popular she is as a character.
Yep. That's what I was going to say. These fan favorites are definitely going to be the front runners for who gets in.
Like, Bernie's such a massive popular character amongst fans and all stuff. And plus, she'd be unique if they want to put her on foot where she just shoots her bows, or they make her a bow knight where she's on a horse and she's shooting bows, because we do know that cavalry is something that's what's it called? I forgot what's it called, the 3 little stars, right, that you learn. I forgot.
Oh, the hidden
talent.
Yeah,
like there's that, right? So I can kind of see her on a horse if they want to do that. But other than that, like from Black Eagles, who do you think you'd see in this game?
I think we're definitely gonna see Dorothea. If they're gonna give her some dancer capability or something, she's definitely the one to do it.
That would be interesting.
We'll probably see Petra, just based off the fact that those 2 are the other ones on the Super Smash Bros. Stage.
No, that is true. They did.
So I see the ones that make the Super Smash Bros. Stage are probably good bets to get in the game.
That'll be interesting, yeah. And when you mentioned Dorothea and her like dance-like skills, I feel like they definitely would not incorporate dance at all, right? Of course, but
yeah.
If you're wondering, like the closest we kind of have to dancers in Fire Emblem Warriors were Azura and Olivia, and they definitely played uniquely compared to other characters. So like they had this more like regal kind of like movement and all that stuff, like almost like as if they're also dancing as well. So that would be interesting if they did add Dorothea. Petra would definitely be cool. I mean, another Wyvern Rider. We do already have Claude. That would be pretty cool. I mean, if they go for a Wyvern Rider, unless they just make her just straight sword user.
Yeah.
But
and then my My last guess would probably be Ferdinand.
Of
Just 'cause
course.
his dad's very involved
His dad
politically
is
in the world.
definitely, yeah. And plus, I think in both, I don't know if in Japan he's a meme, but of course here he's a meme, right?
Oh, definitely.
I am Ferdinand von Eyre, right? You know, the good old classic for Ferdinand, right? Like, I feel like he definitely would appear here.
They gotta bring it back. Yeah.
As soon as you switch to him, I am Ferdinand von Eyre. But I personally don't think that Linhardt would probably be playable. Like, I think he'd be cool,
Linhardt
but
and Casper as well.
yeah, I personally think they're more like gonna sit things out, because I know Kaspar's dad was involved with Edelgard and on the war, but I think Caspar, like, he never really went out. I'm gonna assume, like, he was only really there to like protect the main area. It was mainly his dad who pretty much did everything. But we'll see about that one. And same goes for, I mean, Linhardt. I mean, honestly, let's be real here. Why would Linhardt want to participate in this? If he can, he's probably just gonna chill out in the corner. Just like, yeah, good luck, guys. But it is what it is. But like, I think for me, the high chances of being playable from Black Eagles are Ferdinand and Bernadetta. But what about you?
Yeah, I'd say Bernadetta, Ferdinand, Dorothea.
Dorothea.
If I had to give it top 3. Petra would be up there too, just because of flyer option.
Yeah, flyer. If they do that, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, no, it's like, I just think that, I think we both are in agreement that kind of Linhardt is the one we're kind of like, we don't know.
Linhardt won't be there if he can't. If he can avoid it.
But let's go also to the Black Eagles now, because Black Eagles also has like really big popular characters. We got Sylvain on here. You got Felix. Like, I feel like those two are like shoo-ins, like guaranteed.
Lions.
Oh, what happened?
The Blue Lions.
Yeah, the Blue Lions, like going to Blue Lions, because like Felix and Sylvain are like extremely popular characters. Like, I cannot see them like not be in this game.
I'm the same way. Same with like Ingrid.
Ingrid, I can see her too.
As well. I'd say the two definitely sitting out here, Ash and Annette.
I can kind of see that.
Maybe see Annette because she's got a relic, but Ash has very little purpose.
I can definitely see that.
Because like Linhardt, if they were to get in the game, they would have little plot relevance, I feel.
Which is kind of sad, because when you think about it, the whole Ash and Wolves DLC, right? They had Linhardt and Ash like in those playable. Like, they gave them like more of a spotlight for those two.
Yeah.
Which is honestly like pretty incredible to think about, because like they chose Hilda, which was like, okay, she's a popular character, but then they chose Linhardt and Ash, which to me were like the two big unique ones. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. So I guess maybe they had their time in the spotlight, so they're probably like, all right, let's kind of like not really do much with them. It sucked, but you know, I can kind of definitely agree with you on Ash being benchable. As for Annette, that does remind me that she's only really like shows up as an enemy. If you're on Black Eagles and you side with Edelgard and you just forget to like recruit Annette, like that's where you actually fight her.
She shows up next to Gilbert, right?
Yeah, like I think it's to the opposite side of Gilbert.
Yeah.
But other than that, like even during the war, like when the main clash on the other routes, she does not show up at all for the Blue Line side.
Huh. Yeah.
It's Mercedes, Sylvain, Felix, and Ingrid that show up. Like, Annette just stays back, and Ash, if you recruit him, he's on your team, or if you didn't recruit him, he's dead before then. But, oh, and I forgot to do as well, but, you know, the do's the do.
Is to do. But if they were to leave out a retainer, I feel like Dedu would be the one they leave out, just because how long they took to put him into Fire Emblem Heroes, as well as he seems like he's one of the least popular of the retainers.
Which kind of depresses me. Like, yeah. I love Dedu as a character.
He's a great character, but it just doesn't seem he gets the kind of traction that Hilda or Hubert's does.
And I was gonna say that, like, there is the possibility, like, if you remember in the Blue Line story, Dedu does go missing and all that stuff. But that was only after Dimitri got captured, and I don't think he's already been like imprisoned yet. So
looks like he doesn't get captured in this one. He still has his eye.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure like Dedu will still be here, like honestly. But it's gonna be tough because again, Edelgard's already like supposedly the armored unit that kind of fills that role. So if they want to have another one, you know, they do. But they could do something unique if they wanted to, you know.
Yeah.
And now we go like I guess the last one because like I don't know if the church path will be playable. Like there's the characters from the church path that could be playable besides Rhea, right? Duh. But like, you know, I don't want to go into that one because that one seems a little bit more tricky. Well, I guess we will, but at the end. But let's go to like Golden Deer, because there's a lot of popular characters, and me personally, I do see Raphael and Ignatz kind of sitting this out.
Oh, definitely. There's just too many popular characters in the Golden Deer.
And the same, I will say the same thing for Leonie. Like honestly, like she's like cool character. Well, cool character depending on who you are, because I know some people don't like her. But like I feel like those three are like the ones I'm kind of hitting, like thinking that they are gonna bench: Ignatz, Raphael, and Leonie.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the rest of the cast. You have Lysithea, who's huge plot relevance for Three Houses,
and an extremely popular character.
Marianne's just a very popular character, and then Lorenz is
very important to Claude in the story.
Yep.
Like Lawrence definitely has to be no doubt about it. Like again, I mentioned Marianne is kind of like a hit or miss, you know, because we don't know yet if she is gonna return or if she disappears. I hope she appears.
As well.
And if she does shows up, I think they definitely would do something unique with her using hybrid magic and her sword. Like, because we do know Blood Gang is a magical weapon, you know, so
yeah,
she does have her
relic
weapon.
Thing is, all characters with relic weapons definitely have a chance to get in the game.
Yeah, Lawrence.
The fact that they have relic weapons.
Like Lysithea's relic weapon. Yeah, Lysithea's, not Lawrence. I don't give a crap, bro. Who gives that thing to Lawrence? Who gives that thing to Lawrence?
Weapon?
The I forgot what it's called. The staff, that little staff they give to Lysithea.
Yeah.
It's like, who gives it to Lawrence? I give it to Lysithea. But no, Lawrence, you mentioned. While Lysithea doesn't have a weapon, she is unique because similar to Edelgard, she has 2 crests. So like honestly, I feel like she'd definitely be here. Plus popularity. So yeah, no, like honestly, like Hilda is already confirmed, but Lysithea and Lawrence to me are like the big confirms, while Marianne is a major possibility. That's what I'm leaning with right now.
That sounds pretty safe.
Then why I mentioned like possibly skipping the church characters is not because they're like but it's more so the fact that like I just don't kind of see a lot of them being here. Like I don't see Hanneman or Manuela like appearing on the field and fighting and all that stuff.
Yeah, they wouldn't make much sense.
You
could see Catherine or Shamir, maybe.
Catherine and Shamir definitely are high possibilities, especially Shamir.
Sedith and Flayn as well.
Sedith and Flayn too, yeah. Aloise,
probably not.
Yeah, not really. Cyril, you want?
Geralt too. We've seen Geralt. We don't know if he's playable, but he will play some sort of part in the story. Yeah,
bro. We end up getting Cyril instead playable, bro. I mean, that's if they want to do that with him, but you know, I really don't see Cyril at all. But yeah, no, honestly, like if we are gonna get church characters, it's definitely Sedith and Flayn and Rhea, Geralt probably, and then maybe Catherine Shamir. Like I honestly like don't see any other character from the church coming through here.
Yeah, they just don't have enough plot impact. Even Catherine and Shamir question marks in terms of plot, but they're popular, and then you can't really have one without the other.
And plus, Catherine does have her relic weapon, so
true.
So it's possible that she will definitely appear here. But other than that, like really, I can't really see the church. And what scares me, it's of course the other house, the Ashen Wolves, which I hope they're here, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if they're not.
I wouldn't be surprised if they sneak in as DLC either.
Again, it's like, damn it. Like
I
know, right? Like, bro, like Balthus with his relic weapon. Yuri has his relic weapon, and like, oh, you can just throw them all. I don't care, bro. Just throw them all. It's only 4 characters. But like, you know, like Balthus is like very important to like Well, I think all of them have like some kind of importance, really. I think maybe Constance kind of has like the least impact, really.
Yeah, probably.
Because Happy, it is stated that with Happy, what turned her like that was Cornelia, you know? So, Cornelia, like, you know, she has a connection to Cornelia. Balthus is just friends with Claude, and, you know, he has a relic weapon. And, of course, Yuri, you know. I did watch the voice actor of Yuri's reaction to the Direct, and he did pop off when Fire Emblem Warriors got announced. Of course, he's not going to hint at whether he's in the game or not, right? But, you know, he did show his excitement for the game and all that stuff. I mean, if you want anything to go by that, maybe. But, regardless of the case, we do have to wait and see. I do hope that we do see some Ashen Wolves members, though. But, yeah, no, this game's... No, what happened?
No, same here.
But, yeah, no, it's like... We are pretty close to the release date. If I recall, it was June 2022. I forgot when in June exactly, but it's very, very close.
June 24th.
June 24th? June 24th, then.
AI, the Somnium Files.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That game's getting a sequel. But yeah, no, it's like... Yeah, so the game's, like, very close. We only got, like, 4 months, essentially. And honestly, I'm definitely getting a day one. But what about you, though?
I'll probably pick it up. I might wait for reviews just because I'm not much of a Warriors game guy.
Yeah, and if anything, you probably just kind of like watch the story stuff, if anything.
Exactly. If anything, I'll definitely watch the story of it. But I'm definitely going to get the game just because the cover art is stunning, and I'm a Fire Emblem fan. I still have Fire Emblem Warriors.
Yeah.
I just haven't played it.
Oh shit, hold up, I forgot. Like, before we wrap up the Fire Emblem video, I completely forgot about a character.
Who?
Juritsa.
Oh.
He has to be here. Like, he has to.
He has to be in the game for sure.
Like, free, bro. Like, this man, like, I love the character. I love his character a lot, so he definitely has to appear here.
Him as Yuritsa, and then spoilers, but him as Death Knight as well. You feel like they're definitely going to have some role to play in this game.
And if he's in the game, I feel like Mercedes will definitely be here as well.
True.
So yeah, I completely almost forgot about Yuritsa and all that stuff. Like, damn, bro. I'm like, shit, Yuritsa. Like, I was looking at all the playable characters and I forgot that he was that as a free update. And then for the meme, Anna, right?
Of course. Paid DLC, though.
Yeah.
Because Anna.
But other than that, I pretty sure I think we're done with, like, talking about Fire Emblem. Like, so, do you have anything else to add that you can think of, or are we good?
Oh, that's all from me. I'm excited.
All I can say, like,
we're getting more Foldland.
All I can say is that I kind of hope that the game's great. I know some people are kind of disappointed because they're hoping for another Fire Emblem. Well, that's definitely on the horizon. Like, there's no doubt about it. You know what I mean? Like, we'll definitely get a new Fire Emblem game at some point. It's eventually gonna come. You know, so I'm not in no rush. You know?
Exactly.
It will happen.
There's a very little doubt in my mind that that's coming end of this year, next year for sure. So
definitely.
just enjoy the Fire Emblem content we do get for now.
Yep. I know, Kate, it was great talking about Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Let's just hope it's a great game, you know? But, you know, thanks for coming here, man.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
Thank you for watching today's video. If you really enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, also follow me on Twitter, also give my friend Cade some love. All his socials will be down in the description below. Share the love, and yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you have yourselves a fantastic day, and take care.